Yo, 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 what's the deal, my people? What's the deal, my people? It's your boy, Jason Gooner, and you know what time it is, people. It's another episode, a live episode. We're going to have a nice discussion, all things football. You know how we do on this channel. We talk about a wide range of topics. Today, it's going to be wide ranging. We have a lot of things on the menu for today. So if you see the title and the thumbnail, it is Jason Gooner TV Football Weekly. We're going to try to do one of these a week all the time. We're never really sure when and where, but you don't know. If you turn on those bell notifications, you will know when Jason Guna is live and doing some content. All right. So this week, we're going to show the pick results. You know, we do the EPL weekly results. We didn't really have time this week. Life been really doing a number on me this week, people, honestly. But we have some time today to do some coverage, so we're going to do some footage. But we're going to show how the weekly results went for the EPL picks. We did have a winner this week. We're going to highlight that person, give them their flowers. Then we're going to talk about Michael Oliver's star shining. Yes, we didn't get a chance to talk about the games this weekend, but of course, you know, Arsenal is my team, hence the name Jason Guna. So we're going to discuss everything about the 2-2 draw with Manchester City. Then we're going to touch on something that happened in the Costa Cup. I believe it was last week now. It was McGrath versus Dinthill. Very, very sad scenes out there. Referee basically being rushed, for lack of a better term, by some of the players of Dinthill. And we're going to discuss that and some of the steps taken by the principal of Dinthill. We're going to talk about that today. And then we're going to talk about red card issue. So people might be wondering, am I talking about Arsenal there? No, actually, I'm not. I'm talking about the Reggae Boys defenders, or those who were called in the last setup of the Reggae Boys in September. Are we having a red card issue with our defenders? Yes, we're going to talk about that briefly as well. And then, of course, the last thing in the topic today, Paul Hall. Paul Hall did have some words about the recent move of Kaheem Dixon to Charlton. So we just wanted to talk about that article and discuss that as well. So yeah, that's basically loosely how the show is going to be. We also have Big Bad Bunny on the cover as well. So we just want to touch briefly on the recent announcement of the Reggae Girls fixtures, and also just check in with some of the players that might have started their seasons and see how they're faring for them just starting out this season for the women. All right. So as I said, full show, people. So we're not going to waste much time. Get right into it. Probably want to run this show for about a good 2 hours. Hopefully, as we get the word out there, you guys are liking, sharing, and subscribing to the content. Very, very thankful for the subscriptions that we have gained so far. Trying to keep this thing going. Yes, definitely a lot of content to cover. You know, we are EPL fans, we are Arsenal fans, but of course we are huge Jamaica fans. So anything Jamaica football we discuss. So we'll touch on some other topics as well, touch on the zones in the schoolboy football, touch on the weekly results in the JPL as well as we go through the show. But first and foremost, people, I do want to give some credit to the people that participated in the weekly picks show of the EPL. So let me get that on screen for everyone in the building or for those watching on the replay. So this is how it fared last week, people. So at the top of the list there, you see that name, Duklan, number one this week with a 7-3 record. He actually started out the first 7 games. He was undefeated. So if he had gotten his last 3 picks better, could have been a really big week for him. But it was enough to pull it out, 7-3 with 1 correct score. Hot Chili in second with 6-4 record. Then we had 2 tied at 5-5. Nitro and Biggs G. Nitro gets the tiebreaker with 1 more correct score. Then we had 3 at 4-6. Yours truly in that batch right there. Myself and Mass Sports World identical 4-6 with 1 correct score. Corey MPA 4-6. And then Fana Minot and Avis had rough weeks, only 2 scores done, or only 2 results predicted correctly, no correct scores either way. So Avis and Fana, sorry that I had to show this to the public, but yes, you guys were the donkeys of the week for the picks, and Duke goes home with this week's title. So of course we'll be back Friday night to do the preview show for the week 6 of the EPL, and tune in then to see if you can crack the table. All right, people. So that is it for that last week. So congrats again to Duckland. Well done on pulling out the weekly picks championship. All right, so that is there. Now, the first topic that I'd like to discuss, people, is the Michael Oliver star shine, and that is the topic that I want to start with today, people. Of course, it was a big weekend in the Premier League. I think there have been a lot said in social media around everywhere about the game, about the decisions in the game. Arsenal master in the dark arts. The Manchester City players complaining about how Arsenal was doing their thing. So yeah, it was tough. It was tough. It was tough. In the know, up. Big up yourself. Bigs G, big up yourself, my G. Demas, I'ma call them donkey. Yeah, man, them a donkey for the week, man. Donkey picks. Not very good at all. Demo missed out this week, but I'm sure he will be back in the runnings in the weeks to come. All right, big up on yourself. Yeah, so let's move on now to the game, Arsenal versus Man City. So I never had a chance, as I said, to do any kind of review of the week. So I have to go back and just take a look at this game in detail. So, of course, it ended 2-2 by now. Haaland started the scoring in the 9th minute. I thought that the play that caused the goal was brilliant football from Savinho. Had Calafiori too tight to him on the wing, turned him inside. If you look at the play, when Savinho turns Calafiori, Arsenal is in a decent position. I think Thomas Partey is kind of blocking the channel that eventually ends up being the assist for the goal. And at that point, Gabriel Magalhaes is torn because Bernardo Silva intelligently runs to the wide channel, kind of pulls Gabriel that way. And for some reason, Partey just turns his back to the ball, Savinho approaching him, and starts to run backwards as well. So the minute that Gabriel and Partey kind of lose track of where that ball is, Erling Haaland was excellent in his movement. He found that space in between Gabriel and Saliba. And if you look at it and really scrutinize his movement, he kind of checks his run about twice to just ensure that he doesn't run offside. Those little things are the things I think people don't really give Haaland enough credit for. Yes, he's a bulldozing striker, doesn't barely touch the ball in build-up play, but his movement off the ball is really and truly next level. Extremely, extremely intelligent with his runs, keeping onside. For a player that likes to play on the last line, very rarely is he caught offside, and I think that's just due to his intelligence. But Savinho, as I said, really good turn on Calafiori. I think 2 mistakes by Gabriel Magalhaes and Partey just kind of opened the space even more. Saliba tried his best to play him offside, but I think Haaland was hip to it and really, just used his smarts to stay onside. And then once the ball was through, the form he's on now, even though Raya is in a world-class form, you'd probably bet your house on Haaland finishing it, and he did to make it 1-0. Now, I thought Man City, pretty much dominated that first, I would say, about 20 minutes or so of the game. 15 to 20 minutes. I think around that time is when Arsenal started to kind of get a grasp of the press that Man City was bringing, and you saw them a little bit better at playing out. They still were really staying to the direct approach for the most part. It was interesting what Arteta was doing with Havertz and Trossard. It seemed like they were kind of interchanging. When we went direct, Havertz would end up occupying the back line, but out of possession, it was almost as if he dropped back into midfield a bit more. So, Havertz is really crucial to everything that we do. You are seeing him being used in like multiple roles in one game, which was kind of impressive, I thought, on Havertz's part. Just trying to make up for, the lack of Odegaard being there in the press. It was not the same, so to speak, but I think Trossard did a decent enough job of his pressing game. But I think once Arsenal realized that they could do something in the game became a lot more even. And I think I'd say once Calafiori got the equalizer, it was still a bit more City side. But then about 5 to 10 minutes after that, I would say Arsenal really got a foothold in the game. And I think they were the better team from about 35 minutes until the end. Well, until that second yellow to Trossard. So it was... to me, I thought that that Calafiore goal obviously was brilliant, and that was another huge talking point in the game. Of course, Michael Oliver called a foul. For one, they said that the spot kick itself was taken about 8 to 10 yards further forward than where the foul occurred. That's something that you see happen from time to time in the football game. So I don't think that's so out of the norm. What I thought was out of the norm a bit was when Oliver called over the two captains at that time, the game was getting a bit heated in temperature. He didn't, some say he didn't give the requisite time for Walker to get back into position. If you look at when Partey plays the pass at that still shot, when his ball actually hit, when he actually kicks the ball to send the pass to Martinelli down the wing, Walker is actually in a straight line with the rest of his defenders. Now, he could argue he would have maybe wanted to be a bit more wide to be closer to Martinelli there. I understand that. But, it wasn't like it was simultaneous with him not talking to him. After talking to the referee, he turns and talks to his players, telling them to calm down. Didn't really run back into position first, started talking to them. So I think he's a little bit culpable as well. It would have been harsh, I think, if when that ball was played over, Oliver would have called back the play, because he did indeed blow his whistle to restart the play. So that's, I think, one of the things that people were missing in the whole conversation. It wasn't like he didn't signify the start of play with a whistle, because he did. And then after that, it still took a lot of doing for Calafiore to score that goal. So a lot had to happen afterwards to even get the goal. So it was controversial. I do think that the ref made a split decision in terms of blowing his whistle when he did. And as I said, when you look at where Walker was in line with the rest of his defenders, he was in line with all the other three defenders on that back line. So I don't know, if it was too early per se. And then, of course, we always have the threats from the set pieces. Once we got a foothold in the game, I remember we got a corner maybe 5 minutes before scoring that second goal. And I think Magalhaes should have scored then. They had they crowded the goalkeeper Edison, couldn't really move around, and floated over to the back post from Saka. Magalhaes was the one free runner from the penalty spot, running in and trying to meet that ball at its peak to head it into the goal. Could not quite direct that one in the goal. Exact same thing 5 minutes later. This time they put Walker on Magalhaes. Didn't really make much difference. Good move to get open and get free. Saka put it right back in the same spot. Same strategy, kind of crowding out, or Edison couldn't really move in his box. And this time Magalhaes made no mistake to make it 2-1. Now, this is when I think Michael Oliver starts to kind of put his imprint on the game. When we get the equalizing goal, which happens in the 45th minute, so 46 minutes, 1 minute into injury time. At that time, it was already shown that we would be playing 6 minutes of injury time, because Rodri went down earlier in the game. Sad to say, I have to mention this as well. Rodri looks to have torn his ACL or done some damage to his ACL due to miss the rest of the season, they said. So look, obviously, as a rival of City, Rodri is extremely important. But at the end of the day, I don't want to see any player injured. So speedy recovery to Rodri. Hope it's not anything career-threatening, because you're a player that I myself enjoy watching play football. So hopefully everything is good with you, Rodri, after you can rehab yourself and get back strong when you do come back. All right, so big up yourself to Rodri. But when that injury happened, of course, it took some time to get that substitution going on. So 6 minutes of injury time were due to be played. Now, I remember distinctly, they got a corner. I would say it was about 50 minutes played so far. So 5 minutes of injury time had been played. We end up clearing that corner and try to go on a counter-attack. Now, Trossard ends up playing a square pass, trying to find, I forget who he was trying to find, but it was cut out. And when City are about to break the other way, Partey takes out a player. And this happened in, the 45 plus 7th minute, right? So that means from the time we gave up a corner, cleared it, tried to go on a counter, gave the ball up, we are now into the 52nd minute. Right, so remember it was +6 to be played. Fair enough. They get the free kick. It's just inside our half. They play a long ball. We semi-clear it. We play a bit of head tennis. It comes back in. We clear it again. So we have cleared the ball twice out of our box in an action that has happened after the 6 minutes have been played. And in that next action, when we clear it for a second time, That's when the whole Trossard coming together with Silva happens. The ref blows his whistle, Trossard kicks the ball away, and of course, Trossard gets the second yellow. So for me, the actual incident of Trossard getting a second yellow, I can't really complain. I think, especially due to the recent history of what happened with Rice, we should have been on a higher alert of any time we commit a foul, just leave the football alone. Trossard has stated after the fact that he never heard the whistle. To me, that's neither here nor there. Due to the heightened sense of this going on with Arsenal lately, I have no excuses to make for Trossard. My problem is with the referees and this arbitrary use of more time in a half. As I said, when Partey committed that foul, it's already into extra time of the injury time. I'm not saying don't let the free kick occur. Let it occur. We clear the ball once. It gets back to them. They send it back in. We clear it again. How many times do we have to clear the ball as the injury time is done already? It's almost like something had to happen before the man says halftime. And something did happen. Trossard gets a second yellow. The game is pretty much changed now. So of course at halftime he takes Saka off, brings on Ben White. I was extremely surprised, not at Ben White coming on to make a back five, but at Saka being the one taken off. I was extremely surprised. I figured it would have been Martinelli of the people that were on the pitch at the time. I knew he wouldn't take Havertz off due to the nature of him being a midfielder / forward anyway, which you would kind of need in the second half. But I guess the thinking was Martinelli with the speed might give you more up and down. But clearly Martinelli was on because he wanted him to defend, because we went into a 5-4 system. We had no outlet pass, really and truly. He just said we're going to defend. And to be totally honest, it was working out for the most part. Yes, they had a lot of shots, a lot of possession, but I think Raya didn't really. If you look at it, they had 3 big chances created in that second half, and they had 2 in that first half. So only 1 more big chance from all that possession. It was 90-10 basically in possession in that second half, and they had 28 shots. But when you look at the deeper metrics now, 9 of them on target, but a lot of those were forwarding from outside the box. If you look at these shots right here, and it was based on time as well. So let's go to the second half, right? So Kovacic outside the box, Diaz outside the box, Savinho outside the box, Akanji outside the box, Walker on target but outside the box. Haaland, this header was very good. The rebound could have scored as well, but Silva could not get over it to put that in. So that was a big chance right there. This header from Haaland for sure. Then you had Kyle Walker outside the box again. Vardiol, this was another big chance. Kind of lucky-ish bounce to get to where it was here for Vardiol. Struck it well on the volley. Good save by Rhea. Right, so I would say that's another one. Good shot. Blocked from distance, Doku. Outside the box, blocked. Savinho. Over the top, outside the box. Diaz blocked outside the box. Kovacic outside the box. Walker outside the box. Diaz was saved but outside the box. Haaland just in the box but blocked. Foden wide from just in the box. Kovacic outside the box. Outside the box. Outside the box. Outside the box. This was a big chance for Haaland right here, but saved inside the box. Another big chance for Haaland, saved inside the box with his head. Outside the box again. Kovacic got free. This was a good attempt. This was blocked by Gabriel, and then the rebound put in by Stones for the goal in the 98th minute, which there were 7 minutes of injury time given. This was scored in the 98th, of course. They said that there was a lot of dark arts and time wasting in that second half. I saw an Opta stat that it was actually in the field of play for 35 minutes, the ball itself, which was the highest of any half in the entire league this season. So this whole thing about us wasting time was overblown, I thought, because the stats wouldn't suggest that was reality. And also, if you look at the players that were going down in the second half with cramp and various issues, they all had to be subbed off except for the goalkeeper, who, as we saw yesterday, is injured because he didn't play in the cup because Neto is cup tied. We ended up playing a 16-year-old in the goal. if Raya is fit yesterday, I'm sure he played. So, it wasn't. I think it was a bit overblown, the whole we're wasting time thing. I will say that we definitely played defensively. If that's a part of the dark arts, then yes, we are guilty of that. But in the end, I think it really did work. We were one set piece away. I think even on the goal, I hate to pick on Partey, but I thought he erred in the goal we conceded in terms of his positioning when Savinho turned Calafiori. He panicked and he basically opened up the space for Haaland. And on that second goal, Grealish, while we were late on the short corner, we had two players kind of marshalling what Grealish was doing, and Partey runs over to make a third, and that's the extra man that's left open at the top of the box. That's Kovacic, who's shot, and the ricochet after that force causes the goal. So, other than that, I thought Partey played really well, but in those two moments, his positioning let him down. I think he panicked a bit, and he just basically ran out of a position that would have held him in better stead to just hold his ground. So, yeah, all in all, I think Michael Oliver and the staff and the crew wanted to be the stars of that game, and in the end, they were. It was a good football match. I think it would have been a much better conversation football-wise if it could have stayed 11v11. And for all those reasons I just gave, again, I am not defending Trossard. I think his action in itself was warranted of a second yellow. My grievance is with the time of play that was played. And I know it's a minimum, so it doesn't mean that as soon as 6-minute play it have to blow off. But I'm telling you, there were no stoppages in that extra time frame. Gabriel scored a goal. Usually you add a minute because of that, right? Which would put it at 51. Trossard happened in 53, 45 plus 8. So yeah, 53, 52 would have been the most, I would say, because of the goal by Gabriel. That's it. I mean, I don't really see where else all that time would come from. And the same goes for the second half. We made one sub in injury time that adds 30 seconds. It was 7 minutes up. Goal scored 98. So that means we've gone a minute past that. So look, both halves, there was some extra time to the extra time, and in both halves, something huge for the result of the match happened. So look, that's my grievance, people. Michael Oliver wants to be the star of the show. There are other things and some other conspiracy theories that people want to talk about as well when it forward on to Michael Oliver. Here is one of them, right? So I'm gonna play this. I don't believe this should be a big deal. This is from somebody's TikTok page, Football Authentic UK. So big up to Football Authentic UK. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about right here. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this off the screen. And I soon move forward to the comment section to hear your thoughts on all of this. But I just have to play this. I think this is kind of crazy. All right, so let me know if you're hearing this, guys. Should be. Facts. Facts. It's a shame. It's a shame. And that's not even the one that I wanted to show you guys, That's a good one, but there's another one this guy did that I have to show you. Where is it? It's another one by Michael Oliver. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I guess it's not on here. This brother have some Diddy something too. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Hold on. I gotta find it. Let me go to the chat real quick. Nitro said, Gunners! Definitely gonna be there Friday. Made it to the finals, which is Sunday. So one big match to go. All right, cool. Big up. Good luck in the finals. Big up Bianconeri, boss. So I go on. I see you say nothing about you, so they must say nah do nothing. Minimum of 6. Yeah, me agree. Minimum. But what happened? Why it have to be so much longer than the minimum? Big up Conrad. Big up Pastor. Up Owen. Respect for being here. Yeah, man. Bless up Father Bling. Bless up Ryan. Elite Sports TV. Big up. Smash the like button. Oh, and I can't hear? Jono. Alright, never mind. So why I can't hear? That's weird. Oh, I know why. But that's not even the one me want to play for Uno. The other one I want to play. UAE League. See it now. Alright, see it now, people. Alright, I know why it now play. I'm gonna fix it. Watch this.
Michael has a problem. September 2023, during the season, 4 Premier League referees are flown to the United Arab Emirates to referee an ADNOC game. Seems okay, yeah? Keep listening. They're paid £20,000. They're normally paid £1,500 for refereeing a match. This is where it gets very interesting. So ADNOC stands for Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. They sponsor the league and they have the name for the league. Who's one of their board members? The Man City chairman is one of the board members. So the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company is state-owned. Who is vice president of the state? The owner of Man City. This is where the 20,000 has been coming from for Michael Oliver to be paid to referee just one match. Oh yeah, it's worth mentioning. Barcelona were charged with paying off a referee. Obviously Pep was a manager at some point, but this was 2001 to 2018. It wasn't just Pep there. The director of football at Barcelona is the current director of football at Man City. Even if Man City have said absolutely nothing to Michael Oliver, they're just getting him out there to referee some games, surely he's going to have a slight bias to Man City. Let's take a look at some decisions this season. Wiped out Rice, then followed up and wiped out Odegaard. Didn't even get a yellow card, let alone a red. Doku with a karate kick on Alexis. No penalty. All of these are Michael Oliver. And this one, 0-0 in the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea. Palmer hits a free kick. Grealish hand, moves towards the ball. It's a penalty. But the 4 match officials were the ones that got flown out to the UAE. And of course, no penalty was given. The thing is, he's basically on the payroll. It is a conflict of interest.
All right, people. So, I want to see that right. And listen, I want to be fair. Come see Demo like this comment right here. Bless up yourself, float. Some say, imagine people used to tell Klopp he complains too much about these refs, you know. Now look at them. And Ryan just say, wow, exactly. So listen, I have always been somebody that is pretty balanced when it forward to the referees, right? I don't think that there's this underlying conspiracy that certain ref would want a certain team to lose. I don't really buy into that. I feel like over the course of a season, most of the time it even out. But here's my thing. When it becomes a thing where one referee, it looks like, doesn't really do certain things to a certain team, it's hard to, and then you have these things come out now that, you know, the owner of the club is also on the board of the league in the UAE, and he's had Oliver over to ref matches and pay him more money than he would normally get ref in matches in England and things of that nature. It make you start to wonder. Then you look at Oliver has given more red cards to Arsenal players than any other team in the league. He has ref 47 league games for Man City and never given City a red card in his life. It's like these things, it's just, boy, I don't know. And we deal with these conflict of interest things a lot in Jamaican football. People level that term and that claim on a lot of people, and it can cause issues. It can cause issues. So, look, I still believe over the course of the season, Arsenal will get their fair decisions where, and some will argue, well, the first goal we scored was kind of weird because they didn't give Walker time to run back and these things. So, like I said, over the course of the season, I think it will even out. But again, something to watch moving forward, people. When Michael Oliver does ref Manchester City matches, make sure that you just remember some of the things that I brought forth to you guys today. And let's just see if we see any kind of trend developing. That's a few results there that he just showed. The two tackles by Kovacic last season. I thought those were clear yellow cards. It was a clear penalty in the FA Cup semi-final as well. And even the karate kick play, I was torn about it at the time. I can't say I was saying it was a stonewall pen, but if a ref had given that as a penalty, I would not complain either. So, look, we're going to keep watching and studying. Michael Oliver doing City matches, will it become a thing? Because I think right now it's pretty big. And I don't know if the Premier League would even put him on a City game, at least for now. That karate kick was so ridiculous when man was right there for the league. For real. That's more than conflict of interest. It's a big conspiracy. Yeah, I mean, this goes deeper than conflict for real. I mean, if that can be proven, what the guy said about them going to ref the games and the amount of money that they get and everything, you know what I'm saying? So, and I actually think Michael Oliver is not a bad ref. Like, he's probably, to me, the best one out of all the ones in England. I would say probably him and what's the guy's name? Taylor. But I actually prefer Oliver to Taylor. Well, I don't know. Two of them have done madness sometimes, but I don't even know which one I prefer. I can't even say I like any of the English refs, but those are some of the more tolerable ones. You can't just be incompetent. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, I forward off on my soapbox. We're not talk about no more referee. Can go. He wanted his start time. I gave him 20 minutes out of a video. I put him in the middle of the damn thumbnail because he seemed like he wanted to be the star of the show. So we went ahead and gave him what he wanted. He's the star. All right. So Michael Oliver, you can take away the donkey of the week from the people that did finish last in the picks. All right. Kadimo said me I disrespect them. When me disrespect Michael Oliver, and can move up. All right. So just to close off the EPL conversation. All right. So it looks like Ryan need to vent on this topic. So let me do this. Hold on, Ryan. I'll send it. People, make sure not smash the like button, Yeah, man, make sure not smash the like button. Just drop this too. I send it to now, Ryan. I just send it, Ryan. Yo, I'm gonna say him saying want the link for 5 minutes. I'm gonna send him. All right. Add him to the stage.
Yes, sir. In at the gym, brother. Yes, sir.
Wagwan, man.
Good show, brother. Good show. Come there in at the gym, I do some chest. I feel good. I say, yo, I go call you and think about the referee. Brethren, all along, I think club, as the demo say, I beat club and say, club, stop the ball in, brother, and play football. But I realize why club left, because him get frustrated and, It's like a 13-man against Liverpool, brother. It's not against Liverpool, brother. Because last year we get a penalty, brother. With the Man City number 11. When name from Belgium, Duku.
Yeah, Doku kick McAllister in them chest. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brother, we never get the red kit. We never, the man them never give her a penalty in the last minute. That would have leave Liverpool leading City by several clear points, brother. You understand? That is how important it is when you play against City in a title race. You have to beat them, brother. You can't just drop points with them, brother. You have to beat them. Because you will drop points against the opponent, you know. You understand? And that is what City has been doing. You 2 years now and Liverpool, them always get the better we one time or get the better out them one time. So I say this to say, bro, so much money compared to when I'm getting in England. You know, say something wrong with that, brother. Oh,
Yeah.
ironic, them get so much money.
Yeah, I was and again, all I have is just that what that guy say. So I can't say, boy, I saw it go. But if that is something that can be researched and it comes out to be true, then I don't know how the English FA and all those people, how they could let something like that happen, especially they said that when that a free kick by Cole Palmer, because I remember that in the FA Cup semi-final when Grealish handled the ball, him jump and move him hand to the ball, clear handball, and it was the same officiating crew that had just gone to do the UAE game. So it's like when things like that happen, it come past coincidence now. It's like, all right, something really have to be looked into, because you can't have a set of people paying people more than what they would get, and then you have them reffing games for you. It don't make no sense. And then when you can point to so many calls what kind of don't make sense to the public, then yeah, it looks sticky. It looks sticky, Ryan. I'm not telling a lie. It looks sticky.
Virgin. Even on Sky Sports, the man them were talking about. You notice it not happen again? Them now go over there again, go ref no more game. Them cut it out. You understand? Boy, I just feel hurt because one of them Premier League title where the man them beat me, I should have win another Premier League title, brother. And based on the man them have a 115 charge. Me see the man them deal with Nottingham Forest and Everton and everybody away take with them points. Me ever save them now, take with 15 or 10 points from the man them this season for where the man them go on, brother. Highway robbery, brother. And me not gonna lie still, Jason, with the Trossard thing. I think him deserve to get a yellow card, but that's where common sense come in with the referee, brother. Oh, you're going to spoil a game like that, brother. Plus, Doku do it the same time in the match.
The reason why I'm really upset about it, because I agree with you. Trossard deserve it in a film action when him do. Me can't say how him could have get that yellow there. But the problem with me have, last year, when Kovacic tackled Rice for the second challenge after him done get the yellow from Odegaard, the reason that the PG or MOL did give us was that common sense was used and he didn't want to ruin a good game. So if Trossard never get the yellow for him do, then them not could have tell you after the game say the reason Trossard never get the second yellow is because he never want to ruin a good game. So the game only can ruin when Man City get 10 man. And that them I tell you, you see me? So it don't make no sense, right?
Brother, you know, from when the referee a suspect from City beat Everton 1-0, brother. Couple season ago, brother. We City for drop points, brother. Without
the handball.
Yes.
Yeah.
From them time, them have to say. I not lie, brother. Man United usually get a whole heap of favor back in the days. But the City one, them one are blatant, brother. You see me say? That one are blatant still, brother. But I that me did want just let out my steam, because I'm there in the gym and do some chest.
My figure says a venting thing. So I make your vent still. Can we know that?
Oh man, brother, man. Referee them need to do better, brother. Them man them need, and nothing ever go against City yet to affect them, brother. Yeah, madness, bro.
Yeah, man. So big up yourself, Ryan. Brother. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man.
Man.
We go through. I'm
not listen for your way ask about Paula, but the thing.
Yeah, if anything,
I'm not sure. Me listen.
Man, Paula, I'm gonna talk about that. That's probably the final thing we're gonna do. So I'm gonna make sure.
No, man, me there, listen.
Yeah, man. Go on, comment and big up yourself, Ryan. Bless up.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people. So that was Ryan LFC. Big up to Ryan, Elite Sports TV. You don't know. I'm sure all of you know Elite Sports at this time. But if you don't, go over there and subscribe. I always give you the nighttime content. and definitely always ablaze the fire and keeping the JFF and everybody on their toes. All right, so let's just take a look now. We're not going to really talk about too much in the Premier League because we have a lot of more things to go through the show. But this right here is the week 5 standings after 5 games played in the Premier League. So if you look right here, Man City in first, 13 points, plus 8 goal difference. Liverpool second, 4 wins, 1 loss, 12 points. Villa on 12 points as well, but a better goal difference to Liverpool. Only 1 goal conceded this season by Liverpool. So the best defense so far, 10 goals scored. And then Aston Villa, 10 goals for 7 against in 12 points. Arsenal in 4th alone on 11 points, also unbeaten. So really and truly the only unbeaten teams left in the league. Arsenal, Man City, Brighton, and Nottingham Forest. But Arsenal 3 wins and 2 draws on 11 points, plus 5 goal difference, 8-4 and 3 against. Chelsea, second highest scoring team on 10 points, 5 games played, of course, 10 points. And then Newcastle 10 points as well, but only 7 and 6 against. So Chelsea have the tiebreaker for goal difference. Then you have 2 teams on 9, Brighton and Forest, both undefeated teams, as I said, 2 wins and 3 draws for both. Then you have Fulham in 9th on 8 points. Decent start to the season for them. 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. Tottenham in 10th, tied with Man United on points on 7. Then you have Brentford on 6 points in 12th. Bournemouth, 5 points, 13th. West Ham struggling to start the season. 1 win, 1 draw, 3 losses, and 4 points. Leicester, 3 points. Crystal Palace, 16th and 3 points. Ipswich, 3 points as well. Got their second draw. Got their third draw, this past weekend. And then Southampton, Everton, and Wolves all in the relegation zone on 1 point. Everton and Wolves both on -9 and Southampton on -7. So that is the Premier League standings after 5. Of course, look out at the end of this week. Friday night, we'll have the weekly EPL preview show. So look out for that, where we break down all the games and just discuss everything as far as the EPL is concerned. Then if you look at on the right-hand side of the screen here, you have the team of the week from SofaScore. This is all stats-based, but this is the team of the week. They went to that 3-1-4-2. I have Dean Henderson in goal, had a really good game for Palace. Then you have Konate from Liverpool, Mosquera from Wolves, and Akanji from City on the back line. Moise Caicedo gets the CDM role this week. Good performance for him. Then you have Mo Salah wide right, Tielemans and Maddison in central midfield, and Luis Diaz, who has started out the season on fire, on the left. And then 2 strikers, Heung-min Son and Nicholas Jackson. So that is the week, the round 5 SofaScore team of the week, as well as the standings for the EPL people. So yes, at this point, you don't know, smash up that like button, but let's just move along into the next part of the show. So the next thing I want to discuss, people, is the disgrace that took place in the Da Costa Cup. Last week, we had a game with McGrath and Dinthill, and that game ended 1-1. But really and truly, the star of that show, or not the star, but the big talking point from that game was the referee and the issues that he encountered with some of the Dinthill players. So, I have watched a lot of football over the years. I grew up in Jamaica for a time in my life, played schoolboy football, went to a number of schoolboy football matches. And typically, when the referee ends up in physical danger, it is the fans that would be, basically the people that the referee would have to be worrying about. And that I've seen that at the Premier League level. I've seen that even at the prep school, primary school level. I've seen fans and referees getting into issues many times watching football in Jamaica. Again, what made this stand out for me that was so different was I had never really seen the players themselves. And I could be wrong. Me personally, I have just never seen the players, especially at the schoolboy level. Maybe at a higher level, not at the Premier League level, but maybe, corner league. You might have some issues like that, player discipline with the refs. But at schoolboy level, I have never really seen it. And I think, I watched, when I heard what happened, I didn't watch the game live, but when I heard what happened, I was looking for the footage. So I just wanted to say big up to Saudi Crest and Saudi Crest Show. I think he was at the game filming it and everything. So I was able to watch back some of the game and kind of, because basically I wanted to make sense of how we got here. Like, how could the temperature get so warm in this game to where something like that could happen? And first and foremost, I want to say the referee, and this is not to make sense of what the players did, because what the players did were wrong and there's no justification for their actions. But the referee struggled to keep control of that game. It was a volatile atmosphere. Obviously, it was a top of the table clash. Dintil and McGrath, two of probably the two best teams in the group, and emotions were running high. But there were so many fouls and actions in the game where I thought the referee could have tried to control it better, talk to the players, maybe issue some more cards at times. It just seemed like he let it bubble up and fester. And by the time it got to that place where it got to, something was going to happen. And again, that's not to justify the actions of the players that did take it past just, disrespecting the referee by talking or saying things. They went too far. They went to the physical step, and there's no place for that. Now, after the game, I heard a lot of people talking about it, and some were trying to make sense of it all. Some were trying to, be apologetic in terms of for the players, saying, boy, we have to understand that these kids come from some tough backgrounds, and none of those things should be reason to make an excuse for people. There's yes, I know all of us don't have the same foundation in terms of what we learn from home, right? I get that. But at the end of the day, if you're being selected to represent your school in sports, I'm sure you would have been spoken to by your principal, your manager, your coach, a lot of different elders are what you'd call guiding figures to kind of help you navigate these things. And I just feel like for them to have taken the steps that they took to get to the point of anger to where you want to put bodily harm to the referee, I am wondering if these are the type of kids that could even take any talking in the first place, because I just don't know how it could get to that level in terms of where you want to harm the referee. Like, it just seems like such a stretch in terms of, what would be in the realm of possibility for the players to do on the pitch. So this game happened, let me see when the game took place. It was the 21st, and that would have been what? That would have been Saturday, right? So, and from Saturday, this happened. Now, yesterday, I saw where something was making the rounds, and it was a press release from the school, from Dintil, from the principal, and that's one of the reasons why he's on the thumbnail today. His name is Anthony Garwood. He's the principal of Dintil, and I just wanted to read for you guys what the steps that he has taken are. Okay, so I'm just going to read it to you. I'm not going to put it on the screen, but I'm going to read it to you guys. And this is to all the members of staff at Dintil Technical, and this is from the principal, and it's dated the 23rd. So this would have been right on Monday. So this is 2 days after the incident. So first and foremost, Principal Garwood, I don't know if you follow any of these shows on YouTube and stuff, but if you never see this, I just want to let it be known from me that I respect you having such a quick and swift decision to this matter. I think that the timing of it was perfect. As soon as you get back in office Monday, make a statement, because what I didn't want to see happen was ISA themselves come down with something before the school. I think the school must take precedent in this disciplinary action, and so I am happy that you've done so. But I'm going to read it for you guys. It says, regarding the behavior of a few of our DaCosta Cup football players who openly showed dissent toward the match official after the game between the teams named above, we met with the players and coaching staff on Monday, September 23. So that means they probably did this right as soon as they could. Probably let the kids go to class today and then meet with them. Maybe it happened right in the morning. I'm not sure. But it says the following actions were taken against the following individuals. So it's a name of student, Malik White. Offenses: shoved the match official after the game And the sanctions for Malik White are 5-day suspension. So that means from school. So he won't return until the 31st of September. The second sanction is he's banned from participating in any extracurricular activities for the remainder of the season. Wow. So Malik White, and I'm not going to call the numbers of the players. If you guys want to find the footage, I've told you where you can find it. You can try to figure out who is who. I don't think it's important who the players are. Zine, Fabi Frano, that is a great point. So it must be October 1st, I'm talking. So yeah, there is no 31st, but I'm just reading what it said. It said return September 31st. So maybe him can't return ever because there's no September 31st. So he's banned from participating in any extracurricular activities for the remainder of the season. And the third sanction for Malik White is he's referred to the Dispute Resolution Foundation. So that must be something internal at the school that they refer disciplinary matters to. So he has to go and sit in front of them as well, right? No, I'm gonna call them name because people not gonna know who they are based on, if they want to do that footage that they can. But the name can call because this is public. I mean, this is out, the name of the players is out. You know what I mean? It's gonna eventually come out. I'm not saying it doesn't have their number. So for those who saw the video, they might not know who I'm talking about. But look, these kids, this is not to ridicule them, but at the end of the day, these kids did what they did. So we can't, you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. You know what I'm saying? So, me respect where I say RR, but I'm going to say their names. Name of student, Shamir Hutchinson. His offense was gross misconduct on the field of play after the game. All right. He gets 3-day suspension. So to return to school the 27th, which is tomorrow. And as far as any other sanctions for him, they are awaiting Issa's hearing on the incident. So with Malik White, they have gone before Issa says anything and said they are suspending this kid for the remainder of the season. Don't talk. The other players involved, Shamir, they're gonna wait for Issa's hearing as far as any extra discipline for the team is concerned. And then Tirafa Brian, gross misconduct after the game, he gets a 3-day suspension as well, and he has to do counseling session when he returns from suspension. So clearly, the first player in question out for the season. The other two, one awaiting Issa's hearing, and the other one will have to do counseling first, it looks like, before getting a chance to forward back into the team, right? And it says they should not be on the school compound during the suspension period. Yours respectfully, Anthony Garwood. So, look, Mr. Garwood, again, I like the fact that you have put your hand down, put your foot down, steady, firm hand, made the decisions, not waited for anybody else. At the end of the day, you are, in charge of these boys for the most part with their schooling. So I totally understand you stepping out in front of even Issa and laying down some rules or laying down some sanctions or some disciplinary actions towards the students in question. So kudos to you, Mr. Garwood. I like that you have done this. I think it was the right thing to do. I know the ball is in your court, Issa, as far as any follow-up disciplinary actions to be taken. And I think that Issa should follow Mr. Garwood's lead and not let this thing fester around too long, because if there are more sanctions to come, you should be able to get that done in a relatively quick manner. So the ball is in your court now, Mr. Wellington. And hopefully this will be the last of anything like this that we have to see throughout this schoolboy football season. Again, it was not the best thing to see, people. But these things can happen in the heat of the moment. But again, there must be a firm line drawn. And when it comes to physical abuse or physically harming an official or a referee, that is something that cannot have any place in the football. All right. Yes, they're gonna make mistakes and we're going to cuss them, but let's just keep it to the verbals, right? And even those we need to keep to a certain level as well. So moving forward, people, let's just be mindful that these people have families, they have kids of their own, and they are just reffing these games, doing a service to the football, that doesn't mean it should be a life or death thing for them. All right, people. So let's do better where that is concerned. But yeah, not got too tired on that anymore. But that was something that I thought was really bad. And the other thing I want to talk about from the Costa Cup, there was a goal that was scored. I think it was Monroe and Stets in that game. And there was a free kick. Did anybody else see this free kick where people were asking if it was a goal or no goal? Let me know in the comment section if anybody else saw this free kick, because it was quite crazy, this whole debate about goal or no goal for this free kick, you know. I thought it was a bit mad. See if I can find it. Okay, see it here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Stets Monroe, right? Let me see. I'm gonna show you guys this. Well, Demo, I think the problem was, you know, there was a point when there was an angle from behind the goal, and that angle, it wasn't so clear. But even on this, let me show you guys this. You guys can see this, right? It should play again.
Corner from the number 10 player. Everyone was.
Hold on, man, I know that brother there. It should replay one more time. I tell you what, though, it was a damn good free kick. That much I can tell you. So it quite clearly, after seeing the slow down replay from this angle, hit the back stanchion. But it's not so easy to tell in real time. Boy. Demo say he don't know why people thought it wasn't a goal. They say Issa still need to slap them. Yeah, man, I think Issa will drop the hammer as well. Worse than using an overage player. I wonder if Dintil's action on that one player that was probably I would say there was one that was worse than all the rest. I wonder if them taking action on him so swiftly will influence the punishment for the rest in any way. I wonder. This was the equalizing goal by Monroe. Poor defending from Stets there. They should have really dealt with that near post. But yeah, this game, this was a nice little social media debate about the goal. So I thought that was kind of cool. It was one of those weird ones where behind the goal it was hard to tell, but once that angle came out and slow mode from behind the free kick taker, it was pretty obvious that it did hit the stanchion, and it makes sense based on where the ball bounced after it hit. So yeah, it was a cool little thing going around though. Yeah, to me that was the most telling sign, Demo, because there was really nobody on Monroe had anything to say to the referee in terms of yo, what go on, and you know. So I think that was the most telling thing more than anything, because somebody would have most had to say, boy, that's not a goal, you know, from the other team. But none of them said that. All right, so let's just really quickly, before I move on, just go through the zone. So Cornwall College and Malden out in front in zone A. Looks like Cornwall will win that one pretty easy. Anchovy and Froome, they will probably top this group. Rossi is not doing so well so far. 3 played 6 points, but they could still turn it around. So probably it will be between Anchovy, Froome, and Rossi is there. Zone C, Manning's gone out with the lead. 4 played 12. Black River, Grange Hill will fight it out for that second spot. Little London with an outside chance. Spot Valley, William Nib. Spot Valley just beat William Nib the other day. That was a big, well, I wouldn't say upset because it was a top of the table clash, but a big win for Spot Valley. We'll see if they can hold on to second over Cedric Titus, but it should be those 3 fighting it out in Zone D. Then Zone E, that's the teams we just were talking about: Monroe, BB Coke, Magati, Stets, Newell, and Lacovia in this group. Surprisingly, Stats down in fourth right now. 5 played, only 6 points, but BB Coke and Monroe looking at the top. But Magati Stats can still get it done towards the end of this group. Still about 5 more games to play in the group. So that should be an interesting one to watch in Zone E, who will finish second. I think Monroe will more than likely clean up that group and get that first place slot. Then you have Bel-Air doing really well in this group with Manchester. 5 played, 15 points. Manchester, with their one loss coming to Bel-Air, should be good to finish second in this group. And we'll have hopes that they can catch Bel-Air even to get the first. Then you have Zone G, Christiana and Holmood. They should be going to in first and second out of this group. Knox not doing so well. Belfield and Alphonsus Davis trying, but a little bit behind the two group leaders right now. Then Zone H, CC and Central top this one. Central just got a big win over CC. I think they beat them 2-0 on the weekend. So that's a big one there. See if Central can turn this one around and get to the first spot in this zone. Lennon then be also in this group, but I think it will be in the end a 2-horse race. Edwin Allen struggling, three points from 3. So yeah, this zone, I think Central and Clarendon College should finish up at the top, but Central now with that victory over Clarendon College would think that they might get there. Lennon on 9 as well, but played 2 more games. So based on that, I would say Central and Clarendon, but let's see who tops the zone. Then you have Glenmuir running away with it in zone I. Garvey Maceo, Kemps Hill also close by, both on 12, Foga Road and 10. So this one is still pretty open. I think Glenmuir should finish out this one in first, but it will be quite a battle for that second place in this zone. We'll have to watch zone I for sure. Then you have zone J, Dintil and McGraw. I think those two will battle it out towards right until the end. They have a smaller group than most, so it should be just a grudge match between those two to get out of this one. And then zone K, Ocho Rios doing well, unbeaten, 5 wins from 5. And it's a toss-up for second place in this one. Any one of Brownstown, Garvey, Fern Court, any of these teams I think could have a chance to get that second place, even Gallimore as well. So yeah, let's see how that one goes. And then zone L, Happy Grove, running away winners, 18 points from 6. Another one that will come down to the end to see who finished second. Morant Bay, Seafort, Yalas, Paul Bogle all in with a shout in this group. And then zone M, Port Antonio and Titchfield should get out of that one. So that's pretty much it for the DaCosta Cup. Now let's take a look at the standings in the Manning Cup real quick. I know that my school champion bounced back after getting a 5-0 from KC. We beat the second place team in the group yesterday 2-0 against Penwood. So that was a big win for us. But in zone A, Eltham and Heidel lead so far. I think Heidel in the end will probably top this zone, but I think Eltham will be a good threat for that as well. I think those two should get out of the zone. Dunoon, not the Dunoon that we used to back in the day. Then we have Mona and Charlie in zone B. I think Jonathan Grant and Charlie will battle this one out to see who gets out of the zone. So let's see. I think I know in the Manning Cup, some top third place got through as well. So I think Jonathan Grant should be good or Charlie should be good as one of the best third place. Then you have Kingston College, Penwood, and Campion. I think the same thing with this group. I think 3 teams will get out of this zone, whether it's Jose Marti, Penwood, Campion, and College. 3 out of those 4, I think, will get to the next zone. Campion looking decent right now, though. Third place, just on goal difference, tied with Penwood on 10. KC leading on 13. Then you have Zone D, Stats, Calabar, Vauxhall, Camperdown, Haile Selassie. So I think Stats and Calabar should finish out this zone in first and second. I think Stats will top the zone. Then we have Wolmer's and TG. They are the top of the table clash on the weekend. Wolmer's beating TG. I think I'm not sure what the score was, but I know they beat them. And they top their zone. I think they will continue to top that zone. And I think Tivoli will finish second as well. Then you have JC Excelsior. It's another one where I could see these two running away with it towards the end. Excelsior and JC. Georges and Catherine, they drew 0-0 in their top of the table clash. I think the group should stay about the same, just like this throughout the season. And that should be it for the Manning Cup. So we will be checking out what's going on in the next week. We'll check back in and see how it's looking. But that is pretty much the schoolboy roundup with an eye on the whole mix-up with Dintil and McGrath and the goal or no goal controversy with Stets and Monroe as well. So, yeah, that was the schoolboy football roundup. Now, the next thing that we want to touch on, people, is the red card issue. Why am I saying we have a red card issue? Why am I saying this? All right, so we do the Reggae Boys Abroad. Big up to JD. He always doing it as well. Probably the originator that I seen on YouTube with it. But of course, we want to follow up and we look at players as well. So the other day, we're doing this show last week and I was talking about the defenders and we had gotten to Damian Lowe. And every time we discuss Damian Lowe, what comes up? Walking red card, and walking yellow card and whatever we want to call him, right? So Damian Lowe recently moved to Saudi Arabia, as you all know, or well, not all, but as some of you may know. And he recently got to play his first game in the league. And this game was actually happening, I believe, simultaneously to when I was doing the stream that day. I think it was last Thursday, a week from today. And basically what ended up happening was in that game, Damian Lowe had gotten a yellow card already. I remember something came up. I had to get off the stream that day and I didn't get a chance to come back and finish. But he ended up getting a second yellow in that game as well. So that game would have happened on the 19th. So that was last Thursday, like I said. And Damian Lowe got a handball in the 97th minute, which was his second yellow. So in his first league game for his new club, Al Akdoud, he did get 2 yellow cards and a red, right? Then, due to the fact that in Saudi Arabia, the league red card doesn't carry over to the cup, they had another game on the 22nd, right, which I think was which was Sunday last week, and they played Al Arabi, and Damian Lowe started this game, and Damian Lowe, in the 76th minute, got a professional foul for the last man to get another red card. So he has played 2 games for Al Akdoud and received 2 red cards, right? So, when I looked at his career and everything, his red card ratio is not the craziest. He does, I would say if you want to give him a nickname due to cards, I would call him a walking red card. I mean, a walking yellow card, because he does pretty much pick up yellow cards at a pretty high rate per 90 minutes, right? If he starts and plays a game, chances are he would have received a booking in the game. And that's just a fact. Anybody that wants to refute that, you're just not being truthful with yourself. Now, the walking red card part, if somebody wants to say that's not the truth, then I couldn't really argue against them, because when you look at the actual data, he does not get, the only way you could call him a walking red card is if you say, in Saudi Arabia, Damian Lowe is a walking red card. He's played 2 games. He's gotten red cards in both. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at the course of his entire career, I think the walking red card thing is a bit much, right? But in the end, this man has a lot of yellows. As I said, just looking at his overall stats throughout his career right here. And when I go to detailed, I can see everything. So in his professional career, dating all the way back to 2013, Damian Lowe has played 244 games, right? Damian Lowe has played 244 games. Actually, let me, just so you guys know, so I'm not make up nothing. Let me show you guys. Because I just like to see truth. All right. So this is Damian Lowe's entire career, all seasons in as a pro. This column is games he actually played, because sometimes they list it on the squad, but he never get a game. So this blue number here is games. So he's played 244 games in his pro career, right? The first number is goals, assists. So let's scroll over to, so this one right here is yellow. Then this is yellow reds, right? So that means he got 2 yellows in the game. And then this is straight reds, right? So he got a yellow card in the game too? Hold on. Yeah, damn. All right, so these 3 columns right here. So all right, so that means he has 80 yellows in 244 games. So that's a yellow every 5.5 games. That's not so bad. 80. Okay, and then he has 5 yellow reds. So that's second yellow, which is a red. And then he has 3 straight reds. And this is not including international. This is just club. So 3 straight reds. The last straight red he got was obviously the other day. But prior to that, it was when he was in, I guess, what's this, Norway? Yeah, I think that's Norway. And that's the right one, right? Yeah, red. So only 3, 5. So 8 red cards in 244. So again, walking red card, maybe a bit much. A walking yellow make more sense. But recently, 2 games played in Saudi Arabia, 2 red cards in the 2 games. So that's the first player. So I was like, okay, that's just one player. Then say, what about another one of our defenders? And this defender, I have heard people say that him and Lowe could never play on the same back line because they're both wild. And the player that I'm referring to is Big Dish, Deshaun Bernard. All right. So Deshaun had a game this past weekend, and we're just going to look at how he fared in this game. I don't know why this thing is doing this. Nigel Garden, up. What go on, bro? Big up yourself, you know, Stefan. Yeah, man. Caris, up. What you say? All right, so now let's look at Big Dish. So Deshaun. Let's look at his games. So Deshaun just played a game on the 21st. So that was Saturday. And this is how Deshaun game went. So Deshaun had a professional handball in the 74th minute. And he was sent off in their most recent league game. So he'll be missing from action. I believe it should be 1 game. No, it's probably 2 games at least. So let's see how many games them have left before the break. So Deshaun Bernard just got it then. Them have 28 and then the second. And then the 5th. So if it is a 2-game ban, he should be back for Coventry. If it's a 3-game ban, then he'll be gone until the end of the window. Or until the window starts. So hopefully it's just a 2-game ban for him. But that's another player that was selected in the last window, center back. And he also received a red card in his last game. So another player that was selected the last window and is playing football currently for Cavalier. His team had a game in the Premier League, the JPL last night, a rescheduled game. They played Humble Lion and they ended up drawing 1-1. And in that game, I might have forgotten the JPL website for this one. SofaScore don't really give you much data for the actual matches in the JPL besides the goal scorers. But let me just go to this then and show you on here. 23rd. So don't put the game. Okay, so I'll put it here. So this is Richard King, right? So let me go to this instead. And then, so all right, so this was the game that was the rescheduled game that played yesterday, Humble Lion and Cavalier. As you can see, Overy put them in the lead in the 7th, and then Odean Murray got the equalizer in the 91st minute. But what I really want to point out was Richard King got a yellow in the 1st minute of the game, and then in the 79th committed another foul and got a second yellow. So Richard King added his name to the list of central defenders picked in the last window that got red cards for their clubs. So Richard King, Deshaun Bernard, Damian Lowe all got red cards this week. Then you have Ethan Pinnock had, while his performances have been good, when you look at the stats and the overall metrics, he has had some big mistakes in the last couple of games. I think he kind of didn't play Haaland the smartest on that breakaway goal against Brentford, and then against Tottenham he pretty much gave the ball away right on top of his box, which caused a goal for Tottenham to equalize. So a couple of higher profile errors from Pinnock lately. Latibo there struggling with injury at Coventry, should look into see hopeful to see him back in the lineup this weekend and moving forward. But is this a cause for concern that our centre backs currently, either not getting the game time they want, not fully 100 fit, making a bit more mistakes than usual, and then for a few of them can't stay on the pitch due to red cards? So, is this something that is concerning to everybody? I think that, one of the spots on the pitch that we have been kind of raving about lately when we talk about our squads is the strength of the defense and the amount of different numbers we have. When you really check it though, are our players really performing at the level that we want to see them performing at? Michael Hector was added for the Gold Cup and Nations League last year. Very good addition. He has since fallen out of favor, out of contract at Charlton, hasn't been able to secure a new one as yet. We saw him picked in the last squad. Do we go back to the well because we kind of know what we're going to get from Hector, or do we put some stock in the fact that he hasn't really been playing? That's something that we need to really check about and see. How do you guys think about all this? I think it's becoming kind of an issue for me. Like it's as if I don't know, man. I don't know. It's the window is coming up shortly. We're at September the 6th. If you guys realize, October 10th is the first game. If you remember the squad the last time, because the games were September 6th and the 9th, right? So the last squad that we received from the JFF, just based on the time frame and the timing, I'm going back to when the squad was put out. They would have came out the same day as the press conference, right? So let's see. So this is the Reggae Boys squad for the last window. This was posted. What is this post? August 30th. All right, so that would mean 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, 31st. So that's 7 days. So we should be getting this squad in about a week. I would say like October the 2nd, October the 3rd, somewhere around there. So yeah, I mean, right prior to that weekend ending, or right now, let me see, October. Yeah, it's like right prior to that weekend ending. So yeah, right before those final games. I mean, maybe they'll wait until the Sunday night, the 6th, but that seems so close, you know. So I would say we're probably going to get it around the 2nd, 3rd, based on the time frame that we got the last one, because you know you can kind of look at precedent when the squads will be released. So I think that's a good way to look at it. So for me, that's what I would say. So it's right around the corner. I mean, basically, they have this one weekend coming up now to really assess and see if players are playing, how they're playing, because you know he's gonna have to make his arrangements to release this squad sometime next week. So yeah, I mean, it's not much time when you really check it, people. It's not much time at all. Stefan said a walking red card is more around the optics and potential at times. Yeah, I know it's probably not as cut and dry as the actual statistics, but I mean, if you're gonna call a man something, I would hope that you can then look it up and say, okay, this is what it is, you know. But moreover, as well, I say Stefan, it's more the optics and kind of the style that him use when him defend. Him definitely take some risk out there with him challenges. I mean, you know, I'm sure he will tell you that himself, but you know, he will probably also tell you that they're calculated risks. You know, it's something that it's a little more thought out than we might think. But he does play on the edge. He does play on the edge, that's for sure. All right, so just comparatively, I wanted to pull up Deshaun Bernard's stats in his career. Now, I know his career hasn't spanned as long, so it won't be out there to the 244 appearances like Low. But at least if we look at this, we can maybe get an idea for the ratio. Let me get this off the screen. All right, Deshaun Bernard career stats. We go to detail. Actually, no, let me leave it like this, car. This is actually better. All right, so 174, so about 70 games less. He has 26 yellows. So that's 26 yellows and 6 red cards. So when you look at, 4 second yellows, which is a red, and 2 straight reds. So I think Damian Lowe's breakdown was 244, 80, 5, and 3 for a total of 8. He has a total of 26 yellow and 6 red, 2 yellows and 2 reds. So on red cards, ratio-wise, Bernard is a little worse, you know, but he's doing way better in the yellow card statistic. So it just goes to show people. I mean, if you're by nature an aggressive defender, more than likely your yellow card is going to be higher. You know, the key for me is like, can you be an aggressive defender and it doesn't really show so much in the statistics? You know, can you be smart enough in your defending to decide when the aggression is needed and to avoid getting bookings for those aggressive challenges, right? That's the thing. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that Bernard has to work on as well in terms of getting that second yellow. You know, to be, as I said, the breakdown for Low, because this is Deshaun Bernard, 174 played, 26 yellows, 6 red cards total, 2 of them being straight reds, 4 of them being on a second yellow. And Low, in contrast, his was 244, 80 yellows, 5 second yellow reds, and 3 straight reds. So let's see. Based on the ratio of them people. Because it don't make sense we use anything besides the numbers, you know, because people are going to have them favorites, right? So 15% of the games Bernard play, him get a yellow card. Contrast that with 33% of the games Low play, him get a yellow card. Then when you look at red cards, Bernard get a red card 3.5% of the time. Low 3.3% of the time. So they're very similar on the red cards in terms of the ratios. Where the difference lies is the yellow cards. Low gets quite a bit more yellow cards per game than Bernard. But red card ratio is almost identical, to be honest. So there you go. Do with that what you may, but no, that is a completely unbiased conversation. That is just numbers making the conversation, you know? So again, is it an issue that we need to worry about? I think we should be a little worried based on the form of some of the defenders. I really hope that Ethan can have a good close to his window, or not to his window, but to his last few games with Brentford before the window. Again, his overall numbers haven't really taken a huge hit. It's just been those moments. And big up to one of the watchers and subscribers. Always mentioned the one thing about Pinnock that he had trouble with was the concentration levels not staying the same throughout the whole 90. And I always used to argue with him about it, but it is rearing its head now. And we did see it a bit in the international window as well. For all his good things he did in the Honduras game, you know, he had that one play where the mistake was so bad. You know, basically it was almost a carbon copy of the Tottenham mistake. Gave up the ball in that space right above our penalty area. Could have been a goal, but we defended it well. So hopefully he can just cut that out, because otherwise he's pretty damn good. I mean, his passing range, his accuracy, clearance is all good. But on the ball, he's been making a few mistakes lately. Just need him to clean that up. But the red cards are a concern, people. They are. I mean, Damian Lowe played 2 games in Saudi, got 2 reds. Deshaun Bernard red in his last time out. And Richard King, who arguably maybe not in so high up the pecking order, but you never know, could be someone that the coach might have been looking towards. He got a red card in the JPL last night as well. So just on the a bit of final news on the CONCACAF side of things with the JPL clubs. Of course, you know that the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup is in full swing. The group stage is almost completed at this point, and I just wanted to show you guys what has happened so far this week. So in the Caribbean Cup, we had another game at the stadium last night. It was Real Hope versus Arnett Gardens, and in the end, Arnett huffed and puffed but could not get the goal. Real Hope in the end also had chances to score to get that 1-0 win as well, but was not the result that Arnett needed to be able to get through in the competition. And sadly, Arnett Gardens is the first team eliminated from the competition out of Group A. They have no chance to get back. They have 1 game left and they're only on 1 point. This is the standings right now, people. So 1 point to Arnett Gardens after their first 3. They have been eliminated. Mount Pleasant Police, Real Hope, and Cavalier all in with a chance. Mount Pleasant right now sitting pretty, only on 2 games. If they can get the win tonight, they face Police in Trinidad. I think that kickoff should be 8 o'clock if I'm not mistaken. I should be able to watch that game. I don't think I'll be able to stream it, but if I can, look out for a thumbnail for that. I will stream that game just to see what's going on. Mount Pleasant, for me, in the driver's seat. I've seen Police play a few games now. I think Mount Pleasant have enough to get the result against them. But, you know, it will come down to them. Like many of the Jamaican teams I've seen so far, they just need to finish their chances. I think Arnett Gardens had a number of openings last night. And just the decision making, man, just not good enough. Not good enough. 4-on-2s and the guys over dribbling into the 2 defenders. It's just like, come on, guys. We need to just clean up that final third area. And then in the end, when Arnett Gardens got really stretched, Real Hope was very wasteful as well. They had some counter-attacking opportunities to score, but you know, Arnett really should be just looking back and ruin their chances. I think in this game in particular, they should have won this game. I mean, there's no question about it. You know, I don't think Real Hope, you know, they had that spell against Cavalier where they were in the ascendancy. I don't remember in this game in the second half, Real Hope really doing that until right at the end when Arnett Gardens was, you know, getting a bit suicidal when the numbers they were putting forward. I thought Arnett played really well in this game, to be honest. Just the final third was the one mistake, the one problem. and that's a big area to have a mistake. So they're out of the competition, but as I said, the other two Jamaicans in there, only the top two advance anyway, so we couldn't get all three through. But Mount Pleasant and Cavaliers still looking good. Mount Pleasant with 2 games left, as I said. If they can get the 3 points tonight, that would put them tied with Cavalier on 6. And then that final game would be what would decide what to actually get through the group. So hopefully a draw tonight wouldn't eliminate them. Neither would a loss, honestly. But I don't think they want to go into that last game needing the 3 points and then depending on other teams. So it would be great if Mount Pleasant could get the 3 tonight, and we will be there to see how that pans out later on tonight. All right, so let me just check the time one more time. 2-1. Yeah, Mount Pleasant Police. Okay, so it's at 6 o'clock tonight. All right, so I might be able to do that, because I think we have some bad weather coming through where I live. Hurricane Helen. Look like it want to go on with a thing, so I don't believe there will be any training later for me to go to. So I might be able to do it, So look out, I might be able to do this game later. Bless up yourself, Dre, and congrats to Stars of the East to get them first 3 points, Gooner, is the king Aston Villa BS, or is it true? I don't know anything about no king to Aston Villa. Nothing at all. Concern. Yeah, I think it's a concern too. Ideal say I would like to see Frey get a call up. Yeah, we big up to Billy Diamond. Same change him name. He was doing a show, I think it was yesterday, where he started to look at them at 23. We never really got through it, but a lot of people were bringing up Ian Frey, and I actually agreed. I thought that right now the only right back that I think is pretty much in the team as of now is unless you put in Latibo there at right back, is Dexter. And so there was a slot for me for another right back. I know Tavan Gray has been doing well this season. Hasn't really done well when he's been asked or called upon for the Reggae Boys. I don't think he has looked, quite, I don't know, there's something about him out there. Doesn't look confident when he's playing for the Reggae Boys. But I think that Ian Frey hasn't really gotten a chance yet. And, before the last injury that he had, he was really well on his way to getting a chance. And he has been consistently playing for Miami recently. So is it time to maybe give him a look in now? I would not be against that, because I think Frey does tick a couple of boxes. He can play right back. He can play CDM as well. And our issues in that area of the pitch. So, yeah, I think Ian Frey would be one that I would gladly accept getting a call up for this window for sure. As far as I know, he has all his paperwork already. So it shouldn't be an issue there. So let's see. Hopefully he's somebody even on the coach's radar at the moment. Yeah, I would agree, Ideal. I would agree. All right, so yeah, that is pretty much the red card issues. So just wanted to talk about some of the players that we had in our squad recently that have had issues with the red cards. So that was that there. Went through Deshaun Bernard and Damian Lowe's card ratios based on how many games they have played. Found out that the red card ratio is pretty similar, but the yellow cards is the big difference. It's about double the percentage of cards for Lowe to Bernard. But on the red card front, they're very similar as far as the games to red cards ratio. So something to watch as they both continue their careers. All right. Now the next thing that I wanted to talk about is on the title as well, and in the thumbnail you see a picture of Paul Hall there. So Paul Hall recently had an article in the Jamaica Observer, and he was discussing his thoughts on the recent move of Kaheem Dixon to Charlton in English League One. So this is the article right here. It was released today, Thursday, the 26th of September, and it says, perfect place. Hall hails Dixon Charlton move, expects major development. All right, so this is the article right here. I'm going to read it for you guys. Former interim national head coach Paul Hall believes that young Reggae Boy striker Kaheem Dixon is in an ideal environment to continue his development following his move to English League One club Charlton Athletic, and is convinced that with the right attitude, he has the potential to become a top-class player. Hall, who played at several well-known clubs in England throughout his career, including Portsmouth, Walsall, West Brom, and Sheffield United, however, noted that for Dixon to achieve this, he must remain humble and follow his coach's instructions. Hall is quoted as saying, "He is in a place now where the hard work starts. He's a very young player, and I haven't seen enough of him, but I am excited about what I have seen. He needs to learn the game as much as he can, take as much advice from the coaches he's working with, and set targets. Hopefully, he can become the player that we all know he can be. There are a lot of talents on the island, and he's just another one that has come through. Hopefully he can make a big name for himself, but he must set targets for himself, and he has got to be humble, which I know he is," Hall emphasized. Dixon, who turns 20 next month, made his debut for the Reggae Boys in March of this year during the CONCACAF Nations League semifinals against the United States. So far, he has scored 2 goals in his 10 appearances for the national senior team. Dixon, who signed with London-based Charlton Athletic last month, led Clarendon College to back-to-back Issa da Costa Cup titles before scoring 4 goals in 8 appearances for Arnett Gardens in the Jamaica Premier League last season. Born in the United Kingdom, Hall was a member of the Reggae Boys team that participated in the 1998 FIFA World Cup in France, where he started in all 3 of the nation's matches. In total, he made 48 appearances for the national side while scoring 14 goals, and served as interim coach of the Reggae Boys from 2021 to 2022. The 52-year-old highlighted that Charlton Athletic are well known for developing players, which is why many of the biggest clubs in England send their young players there on loan to further their talent. He pointed out that Dixon is in the perfect environment to develop his skills before moving to a larger club in Europe. Hall quoted again saying, "Charlton is a good starting point for him because it is a League One club with good coaches and a strong record of producing players. He's in a league where he stands a chance of playing. Very key. In the Championship, players tend to be a bit older to get into the team, but League One is a great breeding ground for young footballers like him. A lot of players go out on loan to League One teams from clubs like Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, and Man U. If he can have the ambition and get into that League One setup, he's definitely in a breeding ground for growth." Meanwhile, Lenworth teacher Hyde, who coached Dixon throughout his high school career at Clarendon College, believes that once Dixon improves the physical aspects of the game, he can expect to move to a much bigger club in the future. This is Hyde saying, "No, he's very humble, disciplined, and works very hard. He wants to succeed in his footballing career, so he will do everything right to get there. He's a good player. He's a very good player on the ball, but I want him to get stronger and adjust to the pace of the English league. Within a year, you will see changes in him. He's already quick, but he just needs to get stronger, and I expect him to move up to a much bigger league within a year." Dixon, who is currently in Charlton Athletics under-21 setup, scored a goal and registered an assist on debut against Watford FC under-21 in a 3-2 victory last Friday. So that is the article there. So you got to hear from a couple of his old, well, not even a coach, but one manager or coach, Paul Hall, that knows of him, and another one that actually coached him, Lenworth Hyde. And they both said similar things, that they think that's a good development, growth place for him to be. Thought it was interesting that the one who has coached him previously, Mr. Hyde, brought up the physical aspects as something that needs to improve. And this is something that anybody who was analyzing the player would have said as well. So, that's something that wasn't really surprising to hear. We're happy that Dixon, I thought personally, even in this first trip back with the national team, he looked a little different already. Looked like he's already been doing that gym work. So that is good. That is good. I think we will see a transformation. It doesn't take long when a Jamaican player goes overseas to see a difference, because their level of weight training and the regimen they would have them under, I'm sure, is a bit more strenuous than what they would have been doing even in Jamaica. So, and I'm sure they've put him on a program for him. So it would include building some muscle mass, because he is very small in terms of his just body frame, right? So you don't want him to get to the point where he loses quickness, but I think he has a lot of room before that happens. He can put on some muscle mass. So, and I did see a little difference even in the first little window and a little time. So as we see him, if he continues to make these teams, you'll see his body start to change, Big up Jason Good, Copa last night. Yeah, good win for the Young Gunners. 1-year MLS Real Deals. Yep. Malmo nil. 1 Rangers. Okay. Oh, that's on now. Okay, cool. Yeah, Ryan in the gym. Bro, we are always the last federation worldwide to name our squad. Get used to it. May I tell you. Yeah, man. So that is it, man. Kaim, getting the write-ups, getting spoken about. And these are things that, when the move was made, some people were, I think everybody was happy, but some were a bit underwhelmed. Like, it's Charlton, it's League One, and I just kept saying to them, guys, this is actually better because there's a pathway there where it's not a, okay, have to get loan out and then forward back to get game. No, this season, right now is in the under 21 setup. Fine. I'm not even mad at that. I like the fact that in that setup, he'll probably be a main player. So he'll start, play the bulk of the minutes in those leagues. If he continue to do what he did in that first game, he'll start to make the benches. One game, the coach give him a chance. Him take him chance. Who knows? So everybody, let's listen to what these coaches in the game are saying. They both understand that this is the level and there's levels to this. And this could very well be Dixon's level right now. Charlton Athletic, on the fringes of the first team and a key part of their under 21 setup. And they will reassess and reevaluate. I wouldn't expect it to be a full reevaluation unless there's just a bag of injuries until probably December, January time when they're towards the middle of the season. Again, what I would do if I'm Kaheem Dixon, or if I'm like all of you who are Kaheem Dixon fans, I would look at, when you're looking at Charlton's schedule, I would look at what they have coming up in the EFL Trophy as a potential way for him to get some first team minutes, not with the U21 team, because remember that EFL Trophy competition is a mixture of teams. So when you're at the Premier League or Championship level in the EFL Trophy, those clubs are going to send their U21 squads to play those games. Now, when you're in League One or League Two, and you're playing in this competition, you would probably be sending not necessarily your under 21 squad, but you'd be sending players that maybe are not getting the requisite game time in your league matches to give them some more competition time and some more first team time. So, like I said, when you look here on the screen where I have it, let me get this off the screen. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So when you look at Charlton's lineup, right? Or not lineup, but when you look at Charlton's games lately, this is all in September, rather Shrewsbury. Then they played this game against Cambridge. Now, this was the game right after the window, when everyone got really excited because the lineups came out for this game, and we saw that Kaheem Dixon was on the bench. And it wasn't a U21 game, it was a Charlton game. Now, of course, we had to explain, it's a different competition, and, a lot of times the fringe players from Charlton plus some of their U21s would be in this squad as opposed to the main first team players, so to speak. Now, some of them do play because Kara is a first team player. He started and got a red card in this game, right? Or 2 yellows. So, there will be some first teamers mixed in with it, but for the most part, it's going to be a changed team when they play these games. Then, they have a couple more league games before the window, and it looks like they don't have another EFL Trophy game until the 29th. So that means if Dixon cannot crack into that first team, we'd have to look at the under 21 setup to see when his next game time will come. And they are in the Professional Development League, which is a bit below the PL2. Same level in terms of age group, but not necessarily the same type of competition based on the squads that are in it. So you won't see the Chelseas and the Arsenals in this particular setup. You see the teams that they face here: Bournemouth, Cardiff, Ipswich, Millwall, Watford, QPR, Bristol, Swansea, Colchester, and Brentford. So some Premier League teams in there as well, but it is like a group of the South clubs in England in this Professional Developmental League. And if you look at the matches their next match will take place on the 1st of October against Brentford. So that to me is where we should look to for Kahim to get his next game time. The next game would have been the 5th, which is Sunday. So hopefully he can play both those games. It probably wouldn't have to report to the Reggae Boys until the 6th. So he should have 2 opportunities with the U21s, and we'll keep watching and seeing if he can make a bench of the League One squad as well, because they do have 3 games left until the window ends. So just to keep you guys aware of what to look out for Kahim, the under-21 should have 2 more games before the window closes, one on the 1st of October and one on the 5th. And here at Jason Gooner TV, we'll definitely check in with you. But my question to you guys here in the chat section right now, are you happy with Kahim Dixon's progress since he's made it to Charlton? Are you surprised that he's on the under-21s and not playing first team? Because I can tell you, me personally, it's pretty much what I thought would happen. You know, when I say something like that, some people who listen to me say, boy, how me not disapprove, me not rate Dixon and all them foolishness there. No, it just approves, say, I can just reason the things out analytically and I don't get caught up in feelings, okay? That's all that means, people. So, just happy to hear other coaches out there discussing it, because them say me a fake coach and me a YouTube coach and me don't know nothing. But a lot of times when I say things and then people out there who have them badges and have them certifications say it as well, I wonder if it give any more credit to what I did say before. Because these things that them saying, we've been saying. And people say we fight against the youth them, you know, but it don't really make no sense. It's just analyzing it from a footballing metric, you know. That's it. Bless up yourself, Travis. So I go on. Yeah, 1 week before the game, definitely. So we should get to about the 2nd or 3rd of October, right before next weekend. So them time and next week, probably I drop a squad video. Yeah, so this weekend is crucial, people. All you scouts out there watching the players, make sure to keep an eye on everything. See who get injured, who coming back from injury. All of these things we need to just keep an eye on. All right. So the last thing I want to touch on, people, because we're almost at the 2-hour mark, right? Is it's not in the title, but I have her on the screen, and that is Khadija Bonishaw. So Khadija Bonishaw, and by extension, the Reggae Girls got some news last week, and I didn't get a chance to touch on it since I have been so busy with my life lately. Let me just pull up the article on the screen. I think I want to read the one from the Observer because that is where I saw it. So if you guys haven't heard, we booked some friendlies in the international window, October and I think November as well. I think October we're going to play France, in France, and then we'll have 2 games in Jamaica versus South Africa, which I'm sure a lot of the Jamaican fan base is extremely happy about. A chance to see their star reggae girls back on the island, representing for their country right there in the flesh. But let me find, here it is, coach targets team chemistry. Okay, so this was Busby speaking ahead of, okay, so this will all take place in the one window. Okay, so it's the October window. So end of October, start of December. No, end of October, we'll play 1 game in this upcoming women's window, which is close to the end of October. And then, so I'll just read this article to you guys because this is basically what I wanted to show you. Make sure to drop some likes on the video, people. Drop a like on the video. Yeah, man, I know it's kind of difficult sometimes to my schedule set up. You can't really figure out when man's gonna go live and stuff. But yeah, man, we really appreciate all those who passed through today. If you haven't had a chance to be a part of the conversation while it's going on, feel free to drop your thoughts in the comment section. That's another way to keep the conversation going after the show is concluded. All right, people. So yeah, if you have dropped comments before, you know that I am very good about responding. So yeah, man, drop them and the conversation can still go on. All right, so we are at 40 likes now, people. Before this show ends, can you get us to the 50 likes, please and thanks? Thank you very much. And the target after the show done, let's get this one to 100 likes, because I'm sure a lot of people will catch this on the replays, because as I say, you never really know when Jason Gooner live, so it's like a game. So some people gonna lose that game sometimes. All right, so this is the last article I want to read for you guys. This was in the Observer. I think this was the 24th. Yes, this was a few days ago. So Reggae Girls coach targets team chemistry ahead of World Cup qualifiers, and of course the coach is Hubert Busby. So Hubert Busby, head coach of Jamaica's senior women's football team, says developing team chemistry and camaraderie are among his primary objectives ahead of the World Cup qualifiers, which are set to begin next year. Upcoming friendly internationals against France and South Africa, Busby said, provide an ideal platform for strengthening the team's playing model, implementing key playing principles, and measuring performance progress. Reggae Girls are scheduled to play away to number 10 ranked France on October 25 at the Stade Auguste Bonal. Then the 42nd ranked Reggae Girls are set to host 50th ranked South Africa on November 29 and December 2. Busby believes these high-level matches are crucial in laying the groundwork for success in the World Cup qualifiers. It's really about us getting better each and every time we get together, and that's really the bar that we're looking to gauge as we head into the next game against France and subsequently the games against South Africa. As we set out, the most important thing for us to keep is to keep on playing top 40 and 50 teams to get us ready and prepared for World Cup qualifiers. We are in a very difficult confederation where it comes to women's football, and therefore we have to play games that get us ready to qualify for the World Cup, and those games against the top 40, 50 teams in the world prepare us for those matches come next year this time, the head coach added. The preparation process, Busby said, includes incorporating new players, fostering a culture of continuous improvement, and ensuring that the team consistently grows. As we are in the preparation mode for 2027, we'll be looking at bringing in some new players as per usual. We've been monitoring players and how they're doing at their clubs currently, so we'll see who's healthy and make an assessment as we head closer to the game in October. However, a lot of those younger players are currently in college, which obviously poses a problem knowing that the NCAA is not necessarily aligned with FIFA, meaning that they don't have to release players for these friendly games. So we work closely with the colleges and, of course, the players to see who could be available. That's something that we have run into in the past. The Reggae Girls will face familiar foes when they take on France. This highly anticipated clash is a rematch of their 2023 World Cup group stage encounter in Australia, where the Reggae Girls secured a historic 0-0 draw against the much-fancied French side. That memorable result earned Jamaica their first ever point at a World Cup. The friendlies against South Africa will reignite a fascinating rivalry between two teams on the rise. Their last encounter in April 2019 in Durban ended 1-1. Both South Africa and Jamaica made their senior women's World Cup debuts together in 2019 in France. 4 years later, they achieved another milestone, advancing to the round of 16. Busby said that the national team will be focusing on their strategies for the upcoming matches. We will look to see areas in which we could exploit, but really it's about us focusing on areas in our game, in our playing model, and how we can build on our own strategies heading into that match. So that was Hubert Busby just talking about what's to come for the Reggae Girls moving forward. Again, all eyes are on 2027 to qualify for a third straight time to the World Cup. And I think this is a good move by the JFF here, because one of the things that I've seen happening with the Reggae Girls lately, obviously, the whole issues with the fiasco of the World Cup, losing those girls, suspended from selection or however you want to put it, then they're finally back in the team. I'm just happy that they're filling the windows. I would have loved to have seen a way to get 2 games in that October window, but we got one. Thankful for the one. Happy that we have 2 games in that next window, because that is a full window. When you get the chance to get these girls in camp around each other, you want to try to maximize the time together by having 2 games. The window calls for 2 games. Let's try to get the 2 games. Again, Rome wasn't built in a day. Not going to kill them. It could have been no game in the window. We've seen windows like that before. Happy that they have one this time so they can get the players together. Now, speaking of the players, a lot of these players obviously plying their trade all over the world. Khadija Shah in England at Man City. They got their season underway. Well, they've had 2 games so far in this season. One would have been in the Champions League. She had to miss that game though because of a visa issue that wasn't dealt with at Man City. So JFF not the only people that deal with that type of stuff. Man City definitely got some egg on their face where that was concerned. So she did have to miss that game. They beat Paris 5-0 last week in Paris, so they didn't really miss her. And then they have the return leg today. So they should be through to the Champions League group stage after taking care of business there. But the first game that they played in the league was a big one. It was them traveling to the Emirates to face Arsenal. Two teams that are looking to, get closer to Chelsea, perennial winners of the league right now. But this was that game right here, Arsenal versus City. And it was also a 2-2 draw as well. So quite some synergy between the two games. One game at the Etihad, one game at the Emirates between these two teams. Two strong teams in their respective leagues as well. But this game, Khadija Shah got a 6.8. She got a yellow card in the game. This was her game by the numbers, people. She had one shot on target, one shot blocked, played the entire game, 32 touches. She was 75%, 12 of 16 accurate passes. She had one key pass, 0 for 1 crosses, 0 for 1 on the long passes, 2 of 7 ground duels, 1 of 1 on her 1 aerial duel. She lost possession 11 times out of those 32 touches. She committed 3 fouls and was fouled once. She had 1 clearance, 1 interception, and 1 tackle. So she put in some work as well on the day. And this was her heat map. So she did some defending in her box on set pieces, dropped deep on some occasions, getting some touches a bit deeper. And then, of course, did get her touches inside the opponent's box as well. So a good performance from Khadija. Good to see her back fully fit, getting the 90 minutes. Was a very good game, 2-2. In the end, Miedema, who we let go from Arsenal, she's now at City, came back to haunt us. How often do you see that a player that you get rid of come back and score a goal on you? So Miedema got her goal there. And Park, who has been on fire, I would say from about the middle of last season, now solidified her place in the England team as well, Jessica Park. So look out for her supplying a lot of goals to Bunny this season. But a rarity for Bunny, not scoring a goal in a league match for City. So let's see if she can get off the mark this coming weekend when Man City, I believe, will head to... Man City will host Brighton 7:30 on Sunday. And like I said, today they do host Paris in the Champions League. Interested to see if they happen to even use Bonnie today. That game should actually be starting in about 6 minutes. So let me see if they have the lineups out yet, so I can tell you what's going on there. So the lineups are out and Khadija is starting. So I will turn that on and see if she gets off the schneid there. She will be facing her Haitian counterpart, Enadozi. Sorry, not Haitian, Nigerian counterpart, Enadozi. We know her from World Cups and Olympics and all these things. So yeah, that should be a good matchup today. Striker versus keeper, Enadozi, one of the better keepers in the French league as well. So Mary Fowler, Khadija Shah, Chloe Kelly, Jessica Park should be a lot for Paris to handle. So let's see. They got 5 last week without Bonnie playing. Let's see if they can do similar today and Bonnie can get off the mark this season with some goals. All right, so that's Bonnie Shaw and the women's national team. As I said, they will be in action when we get a little closer to the window. We will do an in-depth show about the Reggae Girls. Let the season kind of get going and get some more games under their belt so we can really have a so that we have an understanding of what Busby has to look forward to in terms of players to pick. Got some really good news about one of our younger players as well. I won't break that news just yet, but congrats are in order to one of our younger players securing a scholarship overseas to play. But as I said, it's really early stages about that, so I don't want to make that public as yet. Just happen to have some inside knowledge on that one because, I'll just leave it at that. So big up to that player. She should know herself, and really looking forward to tracking her progress. And I think she'll be in very good hands where she's going. All right. Let me see. Ideal Football said, Jason, you heard the rumor going around that they already told Vinny that he won the Ballon d'Or. No, I haven't heard any rumor about that. But I do know that the Ballon d'Or the past few years has been leaked. And you can pretty much find out a bit before. When is the actual ceremony supposed to take place? It should be soon, right? France Football reportedly selects a winner. Okay, I see it. World Soccer Talk article. According to recent leak, is reportedly set to be awarded. Okay, so yeah, talk about Ideal. Incredible form for Real Madrid. Tough competition. So when is it supposed to be? So this will mark the first time since 2003 that neither Messi or Ronaldo is in contention. Jeez. When is the actual winner announced though? Yeah, I see a lot of articles, It's not till October 28th. Wow, so it leaks so early. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's truth to this, but I'm seeing a lot of articles talking about it, which don't really mean it's true, but where there's smoke, there's fire, as they say, But anyway, people, put in my 2 hours. We got to everything on the docket for today. We talked about the picks from last week. Big up Duke again for winning the league picks. Michael Oliver wanted to be the star, so we made him the star of the show. We gave him a full segment and a nice big picture in the middle of the thumbnail. So big up to the star man, Michael Oliver. Put your cards in your damn pocket and blow the game when the time is over. Thank you. Disgrace in the D Cup, we touched on that. Dintil Magra melee with the referee and some players. Kudos again to the principal at Dintil for putting his foot down and taking some disciplinary action before anyone else made any disciplinary action. You kind of laid down a marker. So kudos to you, Principal Garwood, for that. Then we spoke on the red card issues that some of our defenders, our CBs in particular, have been having. And we wanted to know if it was a cause for concern. Or is it just something that's happening with them in their clubs and leagues, and we don't need to worry about it when they come to Jamaica? I don't know. I think it is a cause for concern, and I think we need to, settle down before we get back in the Jamaican colors and just have some games where we're not getting kicked off of the field. And then the last thing we touched on, as far as the title is concerned, we just talked about Paul Hall and his thoughts on the move of Dixon to Charlton Athletic, as well as Mr. Lenny Hyde speaking on it as well. And then just to close out the picture thumbnail, I wanted to just talk on why I had Khadijah on the cover. It was mainly due to the fact that the Reggae Girls have 3 internationals coming up, one at the end of October and one at the end of September, and then one at the end of October and one at the end of November going into the start of December, 2 against South Africa that time and 1 against France at the end of October. So yeah, just wanted to touch on those things. We got through everything well. I want to thank everybody that showed up in the comment section, all those that will be watching on the replay. Be sure to be a part of the conversation by leaving your comments in the comment section. Anything from today's show that you want to leave a comment on, just leave it down in the comment section and we will continue the conversation there. As I said, people, there is a chance you might see me for another game today. The Police hosting Mount Pleasant over there in Trinidad. It starts at 6. All things depends on what's going on with the fam. And we have some bad weather coming through right now, people. So just pray for us that we don't get too much rain and wind and we don't lose power and all this madness. Should get the worst of the weather tonight going into the morning. So schools are closed today and tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see how it works out, people. I'm hoping for the best, and all of those who are God fearing, please give some thoughts and prayers to everyone, Florida side, Georgia side, I think the Carolinas as well. So a lot of states in the southeast might get hit by this storm coming through Helen. I think it's now a hurricane. Should go down to about a tropical storm by the time it gets to me, but you know, stranger things have happened, people. So we're just gonna keep watching it, keep praying, and if if time permits, you will see me on the Police versus Mount Pleasant match today. If not, you will definitely see me, some more of me before the weekend comes. We're definitely going to do the show tomorrow night for the EPL preview, and we might, as I said, forward back later to do the Caribbean Cup CONCACAF match, Police versus Mount Pleasant. All right, people. So big up on yourself. Thanks again for all the support, all the well wishes. Please and thanks again for dropping likes on the video. I wanted to get to 50 before we close off. We're about 5 away. So go ahead and smash your like button on the way out. And yeah, man, thanks again for the support and the strength. Big up to all the massive in the building that passed through. And you don't know, Jason Gooner TV, once again, out of the building. And yeah, we'll be back, people. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Boom.